Alright, hello everyone, hello Hupchu, Raliev, Kasai, Tribal. Hello everyone, welcome to another stream. Well, this time, as you can see, I decided to pick up Train Life. And I have to admit that this is really funny game. I'm not gonna lie, it's nowhere near to be a simulator as it states. In the game title. But it's still fun to play. I'm surprised how much fun I had playing this game. Even though, yes, it is early access, so with all due respect, like every criticism that I have against this game may eventually change. Because whatever we can see in the game right now is, well, it's still being polished, yeah. There are many things that doesn't work, but there are things that are very interesting, well, concepts, I'd say. So today, are we there yet? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We are going to begin the game. Where did I finish? Yes, there are many interesting concepts in the game, so I eventually decided to pick it up, perhaps make a stream, share some of my thoughts about various different things that work and doesn't in the game. So, without any further ado, let's start. Alright, so main menu, well, typical thing for every game. We got all the necessary things that we could find in any other game, I'd say. We can continue our last save game. We can load specific save game if we got multiple profiles. So far I got only one that I created for like testing and screenshot gathering purposes. Yeah, that signal forgot to turn red. There are many criticisms against signals, and signaling in the game has been addressed, I think, today on Steam during one of, well, in one of the news shortly after the patch dropped in. Basically, entire signaling system will be somewhat reworked and looked at by the developers, so don't take it as final thing, and signals are absolutely terrible. Really, I haven't seen such a bad signals in any train game. But we'll get to that later. Anyway, when it comes to options, the game pretty much presets itself, well, for me, on like epic stuff. We can't turn on HDR for some reason. Perhaps this is not finished yet. Sounds, well, we got a whole bunch of different sliders, so that's good that we can adjust everything to our heart's content. Language options, well, the game has quite a few languages, to be fair. So that's nice, providing that it's being created by indie developer. It's really nice to have multiple translations. Anyway, let's hop into the game and let's check what it has to offer. So, when we start a new game, obviously I already put few things in so that we can start quicker. We can select our starting locations. Game is supposed to feature more or less entire Europe. However, obviously, since it's early access, it has only Germany at the moment. And I have to admit that the map is pretty large already. Don't know if people like it or not. Obviously, on weaker rigs, it will be a problem. On pretty good machines, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. For us, right, where did I select it? Yeah, Dresden. So let's carry on with Dresden. We can pick up our player name. We can set up our age. I don't know if it matters in the game or not. I just left it on default. Player avatars, well, there's not much of a selection. We can basically select male or female, and that's it. Company logos, yeah, not too many to select from. What else? Career options, which is basically a difficulty setting. I just left it on default. Oh, there we go. And we can enable tutorial. So, when it comes to tutorial, I won't be doing that today. Because there is no point in doing such thing. However, what I can say about the tutorial is that it's pretty well made. It's not perfect. Definitely there are things that could be improved. But the tutorial will show you the most important game features. How to operate your locomotive. And there's pretty much not that many buttons to operate it. How to operate various different game elements, like servicing your locomotive or managing your locomotive. How to take jobs, how to take passenger jobs, and so on and so on. So it's pretty comprehensive tutorial. However, it doesn't cover any traffic rules or stuff like that. It's hard to say that the game even has any traffic rules, to be honest, but, well, we'll get to that when we start playing. Right, I think that's it when it comes to starting a new career. So, let's begin. Okay, tutorial is disabled. Yeah, I don't want tutorial. Hello, Nico. Oh, Kasai Kitsune, how was your day? Well, my day was pretty good. Ooh, there we go. We got nice foggy weather. Right. So, where we are. Let's turn on the map. Dresden. Okay, so we started at Dresden warehouse. It doesn't have any contracts. That's the world map. To be honest, it's quite large. Yeah. As you can see, there are places that could be expanded. And hopefully that will happen. I look forward to it. Right, so what shall we do in the game? First of all, we need to take some jobs and increase our money. so that we can invest in the company that technically we are owner of. Okay, so where should we go? Since we started at Dresden, we could technically do a passenger run from Dresden main to, let's say, Leipzig, but I'm not really fan of doing passenger runs. Or we can grab some cargo and move it wherever it's needed, I guess. The nearest locations from us are pump jacks. There is one contract in there. We got a contract at steel mill. Well, we can go a long way to Berlin farm and grab one of the 2 contracts that are there. So there is quite a few opportunities to begin with. Right. Let's grab some oil, I guess, since that's the nearest place that will offer me a contract. Yeah. Let's do it. Right. So, here's the first thing about this game. When it comes to traffic rules, they are not managed by any sort of dispatcher. Yeah, you can probably see where it's going. We don't have any dispatcher. We can select if we are willing to go left or right on the junctions ourselves. So it brings it brings memories from games like what was it called? Trains, is it? Yeah. It's kind of similar to Trains, where you can pretty much set the junctions to your heart's content and set your route as you wish. The problem is that here you have to drive a train and set your route at the same time, so it will keep you occupied at all times, I guess. The problem is that there is no like a quick access to minimap. You can obviously look at the radar on bottom left corner of the screen, but it doesn't really give you that much information. And the other option is main map, which is also not a toggle, so you can't just quickly press M button to bring them up, press it again to turn it off. You have to press completely 2 different buttons. So let's say it's like a thing that needs some quality of life improvement, I guess. Anyway, let's begin. So, operating the locomotive is deadly simple. You can interact with the levers and stuff, but obviously that's not super comfortable, or you can use the shortcuts. And the steering is very, very simple. Okay, you can set the reverser forward or backwards only. You don't have neutral gear. So currently we are going forward. By pressing R, we can set it to reverse, and then the locomotive will roll back and forth. Really. It's that simple. When it comes to applying throttle, W and S buttons are your friends. So you can increase the throttle in steps by 10% each step, and the locomotive will start rolling. For the brakes, we got 2 types of brakes. Train brake, which can be engaged with E and D buttons. So E will increase the brake and D will release it, as you can see. And finally, we got emergency brake that we can, well, engage to immediately stop the locomotive. The thing about emergency brake is that if you engage it while the locomotive is rolling, it will take damage. However, it will allow you to stop almost instantly from the locomotive's top speed, regardless of how much load you are carrying. So yeah, when it comes to simulation elements, there are none. That's completely unrealistic. Anyway, The game is still fun to play. I really had a blast trying to go forward, and I guess that's perhaps that small psychological element. You keep on playing just to see what's next. Anyway, let's roll into that pump jack so that we can pick up our first job. Okay, we are speeding up nicely. We can also change the cameras. We got like a front bumper camera, cinematic camera that will automatically change between like 3 different views. Oh, there we go. I forgot to change my direction preference. That's why I ended up on left track. We got like a outside camera. Yeah, that's all right. And finally we got our standard in-cab camera. Okay, not bad, not bad. Okay, so we keep on rolling. Right, just a quick heads up. Normally, the game should feature AI traffic. Unfortunately, today, during the update, it got disabled because, well, it was causing a lot of problems. And yes, I can confirm that. Few times while traveling, I ended up literally on the same track with AI train. And that also refers to, well, that will also refer to the signaling. You pretty much don't get any sort of realistic signaling in the game. I'm still trying to figure out what all those various different signals mean, because they completely don't work. What I believe they were trying to do is to simulate somewhat of road signals, and they failed to do a proper research on how the signaling work on the railways. So let's say the signal that I'm passing right next to, or that I just passed, it was constantly green, and when I passed it, it doesn't change to red, yellow, whatever. It just stays the same. So it feels like it is just a distance signal, and that's how it works. Is it a bad concept? Yeah, it's alright. Oh, there we go. We got animal near the track. We just went past it. Okay. Let me just set our directions correctly. Okay, we can keep on coasting. Perfect. Right. Where was I? Oh yeah. The signals basically doesn't change. The only signal that changes when you go past it is the signal that I'm passing right next to right now. And they display only basically 3 aspects. Oh, come on, I need to... I just got fined for not having the proper lights. Are you joking me? There we go. I think I got the right lights. Anyway. What was I? Oh yeah. They display only 3 aspects. So they are either turned off, which means the track is clear. They are blinking red, which means that the next segment is occupied, I think. And they are solid red when the segment behind them is occupied. The problem is that they are so poorly placed that you never actually have a chance to react to them properly. So Those lights are usually placed next to those crossover points. There is one set of signals shortly before crossovers and one shortly after it. So you can actually see where the problem is. If there is a train that just passed through crossover and you are approaching it, you don't really have a distance to stop before the next signal. So all you get is that notification from the game, hey, there is a train in front of you. And 3 seconds later, you get fine for passing a red signal. That's what you get, and eventually that led to disabling of AI traffic, because those situations could easily drain your money reserves throughout the trip. Is it a good decision? Well, it's kind of sad decision, but well, since there is no proper signaling system in the game, I guess it was still appropriate to some extent. Anyway, we just arrived at the station, and I think we are standing in front of one signal that actually works properly. So this is a station entry signal, that little dwarf signal in front of us, and it's currently displaying red because I never asked for a permission to enter the station. And yes, some of you may say, hey, they should have expected you. Yeah, they should. If there would be a dispatcher system in the game, I would be scheduled to pick up the cargo from this station. Unfortunately, you are a dispatcher, and I never did anything to actually announce myself that I'm going to arrive. So right now I'm stuck at the signal in front of the station, and what I have to do is to request a permission to actually enter the station. So in that case, I need to turn on my radio and pick up the right station from the list. In that case, there is only one, because there is nothing nearby. But sometimes you may get up to 5-6 stations on the list, and you have to pick the right one that you want to contact with. And then using buttons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on, you can pick up various different options and navigate through the menu. Is it the most comfortable way of doing things? I don't know, but it's manageable, and it contains everything that I need, I guess. So, I'm not sure what query information does. Okay, that's the first time I'm using it. So it will basically give you some information about what that station does. Okay, that sounds interesting. But we are interested in services. Hello, Marcel. Nice to see you here. So let's go to services, and those are things that we can do with that station. So we can just request access if we are trying to pass through the station. That's the button to use. We can take order, or we can deliver order. Obviously we don't have any cars in tow, and we are not carrying any cargo at the moment, so we want to take order, or rather contract. What does delivery do? Oh, okay, so we can take only cargo, or we can take a particular specific contract. Okay, I'm interested in taking contract because I don't have any wagons. So 6 wagons to Hanover Refinery. Yeah, sounds like a plan to me, so let's take them. And unfortunately, we can take them only automatically. Oh, you can play again in multiplayer. That's good, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Right, anyway, let's take that order. And since we requested an order and the station now expects us, we got a green light. We can enter. So let's do this. It would be nice to release some brakes. Okay. Right. So, where should we go to pick up the order? In that case, or pretty much in any case, we just need to be somewhere within the station limits. And how do we know we are within the station limits? Well, we just passed a sign with big massive S on it. That means we are effectively within a station limits. On top of that, if we are planning to take any order, we got that nice little symbol below our speedometer. That is showing 2 wagons, which means we can now stop and couple our order. So let's bring the train to a stop. Perfect. Okay, and now we can press U to receive our wagons. And that's it. That's how you take orders. And now, as you can see, we got 6 tank wagons in tow. Perfect. Right, so we shall deliver them, but before we proceed, it would be nice to program our route into GPS, because apparently the game actually uses such system. Sylvester, well, info about this game. Pretty much I started from it at the beginning of the stream, but it's a, well, early access, so-called or self-proclaimed railway simulator. Unfortunately, it's not. It's more like a sandbox, but it's really nice and, well, very arcade game, I'd say. It can be bought on Steam for about 15 British pounds. I'm not sure if what are prices in different regions, but yeah, in the UK it costs around 15 British pounds. Not too expensive. However, you need to bear in mind that this is an early access game and it has plenty of bugs. Anyway, let's get back to what we are doing. So we want to get to Hanover refinery. Okay, so we got 2 ways to program our GPS. We can yeah, at the moment you don't do any shunting pretty much. The only shunting you do, if you can call it like that, is when you drop off cargo. Then you can actually go to the right track and decouple wagons. But you don't really have ability to couple any wagons at the moment. Or I haven't found the way to do so. Anyway, let's program our GPS. So we can do it in 2 ways. We can just select our final destination, and the GPS will set a track for us. However, it will sometimes take us through a station. And I don't really want that, because obviously within a station there is a strict speed limit. And I don't really want to slow down from a main line, which will probably take me with 120 kilometers, down to 50. So while the route is shorter, the time that it will take me to go around the station will be much shorter if I will travel at speed instead of slow down. So I'm not gonna set direct route, and I will program it myself using various different waypoints. So I want to make sure that I will go around the stations and stick to main line. Okay, we want to go around Leipzig, and from here, yeah, we can go straight to refinery. So this was fairly easy setup. However, if you are going, let's say, from Saarbrücken to Berlin, you have a little bit more points to check. Otherwise, you will hit pretty much every single station. Yeah, they already announced that they've listened to some of the feedback from past like 2-3 days since the game was released. And they're gonna rework a couple of things, especially signaling and AI trains, which were absolutely hilarious. Anyway, since our route is programmed and we are facing the wrong direction, more or less. Nico, when it comes to dispatching yourself, it's it's kind of like it's terrible. Let's face it. You dispatch yourself on the go, literally. You change the junctions as you go with your train. Or rather, you set your preference if you want to always go left or always go right, and you just change it from time to time. At least that's what I do. But I'll show more of it when we will be actually traveling. Right. We can obviously check all the various cities if we are interested, but currently we are not. You can apparently level up cities if you deliver what they need. So that's nice. Dashboard, we can check our company status, how much we made, traveled, and so on. We can obviously check out our company. So my train details, I have 12 hours and 48 minutes to deliver that cargo. Okay. And we are going to travel for 400 kilometers. That's really nice distance. Yeah. Basically, it works same as a GPS in your car. It just shows you on minimap which direction you should take. But you have to dispatch yourself as you go, and if you mess it up, then obviously you either have to like reverse somehow or go around. No, there is no broadcast. Yeah, the game is like I would say it's a massive experiment. As I mentioned before, it claims to be a railway simulator. It has nothing to do with any simulation, I can tell you that. But it definitely took a lot of inspirations from Euro Truck Simulator or American Truck Simulator. And there are many elements in the game that will highlight this. Starting from your skill set, that will basically allow you to do various things with fuel and stuff. Or reduce fines. To list of your employees, which you can hire and manage and set them to drive trains. So yeah, basically that entire element of having your own company, it's pretty much copy paste from Euro Truck Simulator. When it comes to dispatching yourself, as you can see in bottom left corner next to minimap, I can declare if I want to go left on the next junction or right on the next junction. And that's basically the whole dispatching. you do that instantly. You set it once and it stays on that setting. So right now every single junction on my way will send me right from the direction of travel. So if you travel backwards, you have to obviously turn your camera because it's relative to the train, not to locomotive and which way it faces. So in that case, last wagon would be sent to the right on the next junction, or to the left on the next junction. And that's how you dispatch yourself and change various different directions. Not the best idea, and I think that should be changed. I like the idea when you move within the station and you have manual switches. Then obviously, like selecting if you want to set switch to the left or to the right. That's a nice idea and nice thing to do. But if you do it on the main line, it obviously causes a lot of problems. Anyway, let's begin to move. We might need to deliver this cargo. Speed limit is 25. Let's set our junctions to the right for now. And we will see if we can deliver those tankers on time. This is gonna be interesting. Marcel, well, there is literally no broadcasters. So when you are on the station, like, the sounds in the game are still work in progress, as you can hear it yourself. We can... Oh, I'm speeding, yeah, I completely lost track of the speed limits. What was I... Oh yeah, the sounds are very limited in the game. Right now we can barely hear the locomotive. Even though we are in outside view, we should hear loud engine noise and... yeah, I know what he means, but the problem is that the game doesn't have such element at all. So yeah, that's why... Oh, in real life in UK? No, not really. I don't remember they ever like addressed passengers like the passengers, blah blah blah. No, they go straight to the point. So yeah, in the UK they pretty much go straight to the point. It's like, what was it that a 1945 service to blah 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 is gonna be cancelled because some idiot hit a railway bridge and we had to close it. Whatever. Yeah, that's pretty much thing that you can hear quite often on British railways. Sorry for the inconvenience caused. Oh, I see. Yeah, so in UK they sorted that out by not addressing the passengers at all. They just say what happened, and yeah, and it's usually ending with sorry for the inconvenience caused. Or if they address passengers, they say in third person. So it's passengers willing to change, blah, 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 go to platform 6 or whatever. Right, so we're up for nice and relaxing drive. Since developers disabled AI traffic, the only event that we can find on the tracks right now is Animal on the track. Oh, there we go. We could see how this light works. It basically turned red right after I passed next to it. And that's the only distance signal. Well, distance. How do you call it? I always keep forgetting words. But block signal. Oh, there we go. Yeah. There we go. We entered another block. And that's it. You don't get like yellow signals. You don't get green aspects to indicate, yeah, the next like 2 blocks are empty or something. No, unfortunately, that's the problem with the signaling in the game. You don't get any heads up, which you should if you want to drive safely. I really like the aspect of getting fines for doing things wrong. So if you fail to turn on the proper lights, which I had at the beginning of the stream, failure to sound a horn, yeah, that's a good thing to get a fine, and like it's some sort of a punishment to the player. Eventually passing light and danger. The problem is that those lights first need to work. And yeah, if they're gonna fix it, that's gonna be really nice and interesting mechanic. Another thing they need to fix is that manual dispatching. Like, I like the idea within the when it happens within the station, that you have to navigate yourself to a proper siding to pick up or drop off cargo. That's fine. That sounds perfectly reasonable for many countries and stations. Not all of them. But on the main lines, I think the traffic should be organized using automatic block signaling, or when it comes to near the station, by some sort of AI dispatcher that will eventually contact with you on his own when you approach the station. There shouldn't be like element that is more appropriate, let's say, for flight sim, where you have to announce yourself. Hey, Dresden warehouse, I would like to land on platform 3. Like, yeah, I'm not flying a plane, you know. So that element, like, I get what they wanted to do, but I don't think that should be like a game element in that case. It's nice to have ability to contact with the station and check the orders or things like that. But eventually, like, it doesn't work in the long run, I guess. Right, so we need to go left in here. There we go. And then let's stick to the right. Now we need to go right. There we go. Oh, lower your speed. Yeah, I was traveling like 70 on 50 km/h zone. I actually never derailed in this game. The only time... Well, never derailed. Never derailed because of speed. I don't know if you can actually do that in this game. I never tested this. The only time I derailed is when I literally crashed with other train. But, well, that's not a high achievement if the signaling doesn't work, isn't it? Okay, we got Animal near the track. And there's massive fog. I guess in the latest patch they just increased the amount of fog that will appear and animal elements, because since they took away entire element of AI traffic, I guess that's their idea, to keep player occupied, but that creates weird effect, I'd say. I'm literally constantly traveling in the fog. I had like few minutes of a good weather. And now it's just a constant fog. My goodness me. Right, anyway, let's jump back into the cabin. And let's try and deliver this cargo. Well, when you speed up, you can actually hear the engine. But I don't think that is working as intended. What they effectively did is, well, they plugged the engine sound or the engine volume to the throttle. So whenever you speed up, you can actually hear that, yeah, there is an engine in this train, but when you reduce the throttle, you can actually barely hear it, if at all. Right, we got nice stretch of tracks. Okay, that orange signal, I have no clue what that means. Probably it's some sort of hazard or danger, but like, what does it mean? That's a good question. Perhaps it would be smart to slow down. Or is it because of the fog? That might be a thing. Yeah, pretty much every single signal is orange right now. Yeah, this is a completely weird system. Right. According to our GPS, we need to turn left. Question is when it is appropriate to change all the junctions to left. I think that's the time, is it? Oh no, this is a crossover point. And that's the actual junction. Yeah, there we go. You are speeding, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm going way over. Oh my goodness me, look how thick that fog is. Okay, another crossover point. Yeah, I want to stick to the right. Okay, we also get signs for inclines and declines. That's somewhat useful. Oh, there we go. Wagons are pushing me. Yeah. Probably it is gonna be smart to turn on some brakes. Oh, and we got Animal on the track. Okay, let's stick to the left. Okay, and on the next one we can go right. Okay, still nothing on the tracks. Well, that's a nice thing about this event. You never know how far it is. It may be very short distance to cover and you barely have enough time to slow down before you hit an animal. Or it might be quite far away. It may also refer to a different track, so there is a high chance that the animal is not even on my track. Although oh, there we go. Whew, that was lucky. Okay, we can continue. Right, how much time we got left? Next speed limit 55. Okay, let's go to the map. And that's the thing. Whenever you jump into the map, the game pauses. So we have plenty of time to check through it. However, there is no other way to check how much more time you got to deliver cargo. So we still got 7 hours and 15 minutes. Okay. Let's go back. Oh. I'm speeding again. There we go. Let's let it coast. Yeah, I'm going way too fast. Okay, that should be enough. Slightly over the speed limit. There we go. The question is that fog ever going to end? I think it's starting to clear out a little bit. Okay, so now I get something about those distance signals that we see every now and then. The ones that never change when you go past next to them. They basically react to various different speed limits. So if the speed limit would drop, they will display orange aspect. Or if the weather conditions are terrible, they will pretty much all display orange aspect to reduce your speed by half. That's interesting. Yeah. Oh, right now my speed limit is 40. Yeah, that actually corresponds with the signs. So pretty much half of the normal speed limits. Okay, we got another animal near the track. Yeah, I think they should have left the trains. Because right now we constantly gonna get fog and animals on the tracks. Ooh, I'm speeding. Let's slow down. I really hope they're gonna fix AI traffic soon. And those signals. Oh my goodness me. Oh, okay. We can travel at full speed. So let's do that. Ooh, that was close. Just barely noticed that this deer was actually crossing the track. Yeah, the graphics is pretty good. The game is made on Unreal Engine, so you would expect graphics to be quite good. And yeah, I got nothing against graphics, apart from one thing. And I hope that we will get a clear weather to showcase it properly. Yeah, sun shafts are really well made. Like, from graphical standpoint, I got no issues with this game. It's really nicely done. I also got nothing against the game being like a bit arcadey. It's fine. Like, for the products like that, yeah, that's perfectly fine that the game is in like a more arcade style than other products. It makes it much more simple and very relaxing. I have to admit that, yeah, definitely I'm very relaxed playing this game. Ooh, lower your speed, yeah, definitely. Wait. Oh, not sure where am I going. Okay. Let's let it coast. Oh yeah, right. I need to change my track. Definitely, I don't want to stay on this one. Okay. Come on, weather, clear out. Do I want to? Yeah, I want to stay on the right. Okay, now we should be entering the bridge. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that is a bit too fast. Yeah, I think what they should do when they removed AI traffic is to also reduce the frequency of random events, because what they effectively did, they reduced all the random events to only 2. So you can either get animal on the track or you can get fog. And that doesn't work really well, because right now I'm traveling constantly in the fog for past like 20 minutes. Yeah, it's been like good 20 minutes since the fog started. And it doesn't look like it's about to end. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay, I think it clears out a little bit. Come on, come on. Another thing that I... Oh, come on. More fog? Are you joking me now? Yeah, I guess that's how it's gonna stay if the game is featuring so many random events. This is gonna stay like that, is it? That fog is not going anywhere. Yeah. At the times like this, I wish I could just roll back to previous patch. Even though there was AI traffic that was sometimes really annoying and did plenty of silly things, at least for most part of the game I was traveling in relatively clear weather. And you could actually highlight some other game issues. So, one of the problems that this game has, which you won't spot in that fog, is pretty poor rendering distance. So basically, the point where you see like a horizon in that fog, which is pretty close to my locomotive, is the point where those block signals, those red ones, actually renders. They literally pop in front of you, like perhaps, I don't know, in the game sense that's probably like 50 meters. So that's another thing that developers need to address and fix. I'm not sure if we will be ever able to actually see that, because, well, I probably should have checked that before starting the stream, but yeah, since the game is constantly in fog, you can't see anything. So that's one of the good things that this fog did. It actually hides the fact that the lights are literally rendering just behind where that fog starts. So right now we can't see that, and they appear already rendered. But yeah, rendering distance for lights, signals and signs is not much further than where the fog limits it to. The only benefit of not having a fog is that I can see the tracks further ahead. There we go, run away. Right, looking at the speed limits, I might actually struggle to deliver this cargo on time. Yeah. This is gonna be problematic. not sure if I will be able to get to that refinery on time. Where are we? Leipzig Food Processing Plant. Let's have a quick check on the map. Yeah. We still got quite a distance to go. And we got only 2 hours and 43 minutes of in-game time. Yikes. So because of the speed limits, that are here because of the fog, we might not be able to deliver that cargo on time, even though AI traffic is disabled. There's just too much fog. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh, it looks like it's clearing out a little bit. Hopefully, we will be able to travel at higher speeds for a while. Yeah. Now we can actually see further up in the distance. Next speed limit 50. Okay. Looks like we are getting there. No more fog for now. So hopefully now the speed limit will jump. No, it didn't. Ooh, that's pretty bad. Yeah, normally on that track you can smash it 120 without any problems. But I think we will now be able to see the issues that I mentioned before with the rendering. As you can see, yeah, there we go. That's when all the signals are rendering. That's how much? About 100 meters, maybe? Oh, there we go. We got another random event. Yeah, so that's one of the issues that they need to fix. Either they can do it either by introducing a slider for the players to set rendering distance, so each player can individually adjust it so that their machines won't die because the basic rendering distance is set too high. But on the other hand, like, it won't make players with very good rigs suffer from rendering distance of like 50 meters, which looks really bad, to say the least. There we go. Come on, the speed limit needs to change. Nope, still yellow signal. Come on, game. Give me a proper speed limit. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, yeah, that's the kind of bugs you will encounter when you buy early access game. It doesn't make it worse, obviously. Like, it's early access, so you can expect that there will be bugs, even the game-breaking ones. And I'm really not sure if what was more game-breaking, constant fog or AI traffic. Because I think with AI traffic, even if it was bad, I was able to progress. And only from time to time I ended up in a situation when, let's say, I think it's always on this stretch of the track that I'm currently traveling. AI train always travels on the left track in here. So sometimes you could actually encounter a random event with AI train heading right towards you. And you either slam the brakes to bring your train to a stop, or you just crashed. Like, those were two outcomes if you encountered a train on the same track. So that was the only issue that I had with AI traffic. Well, sometimes they got stuck on the junctions, and that was another one where you could get permanently stopped on red light. But seriously, for that I always had a simple solution. Like, since you can set your junctions yourself, that's actually one of the good reasons to do it, and just take the fines for like going past red light. But apart from that, yeah, I had no real issues with AI trains. Like, traveling on the wrong side of the track, that was the only issue, which in conjunction with that poor signaling system caused a lot of problems. So I believe if they would just upgrade signaling system to actually work properly, even if AI traffic decides to go on the wrong side of the tracks for any given reason, you would be able to react to it like soon enough to avoid collision. That is, if you observe the signals. And I think that was the main intent of putting the systems like that. So the players have to learn how to read the signals and so on and so on. The problem is that the signal system is so poorly made that even if they want to learn how to read those signals, they have no real chance to do so. Oh well. Hopefully it will get fixed soon. Well, I don't expect any patch to drop today. Oh, animal on the track. Thankfully the speed limit is only 60, and I believe we are already late with that delivery. So unfortunately we won't make a massive amount of money on that. Come on, come on. Let's turn on cabin light. That also looks nice. When it comes to lighting, they did really good job. Like, you can actually see that everything works fine. Oh. Okay, that was close. Yeah, I'm speeding a little bit. Oh, there we go. Finally, we will get a proper speed limit. 110. So we will be able to roll. Not that it's gonna help us in any way right now. We are already late, is it? Let's quickly check my train. Yeah, time left. We got no time left. I'm not sure how big will be the penalty for late delivery. But I probably won't make as much as I would. Oh well, let's just do it right. And is it going to change? Fantastic. I think they actually updated the speed boards, so they now start to apply when your train actually passed next to it instead of locomotive. Because yeah, oh no, they haven't. So it just took the game a while to process the fact that we got normal speed limit. 120 updated right after I hit the signal, pretty much. So that needs to change in nearby future. Okay, I think it's a good time to contact with let's deliver that manually. Okay, let's slow down a little bit. Huh. I wonder how much money we are going to make from this delivery. If any. That is a good question. Right, so where is my drop-off point? Okay, so that's this truck. Is it? Oh, and it's foggy again. Come on. You gotta be kidding me. Yeah, it would probably help if I would reduce the brakes. Yeah, that's not the drop-off truck. Oh, come on. You must be joking me now. So, where am I supposed to drop it off? Oh, I see. I probably have to go around, do I? Yeah, let's use external camera for that. Let's turn on the reverse. Come on. Keep on rolling. And let's stick to the left. So where is that drop-off truck? My goodness me. Okay, not exactly the most appropriate way to drive a train, I guess. Yeah, probably it's somewhere there. But I can't see any markers. Right, let's go forward now. Brakes off. A bit of throttle. Come on, I need to drop off this cargo. There we go. Oh. Okay, that's where the truck is. I see. I see what you did here. Right. It's probably wise to slow down a bit. Okay, let's pull entire train into this siding. Okay, just stop. Stop. There we go. Beautiful. Right, so with manual delivery, we can actually decide which coupler should we disconnect. So that's useful if you take multiple jobs. Sadly, they haven't programmed manual job pickup. So you can pick it up automatically where the cars just pop behind your locomotive, but you can drop it off manually. That's really nice. Okay, contract completed. We earned 2300 experience and 60 grand. So they basically cut off a third of my contract. Yikes. Okay, let's release the brakes. And let's go to that repair shop, warehouse, whatever that is. So let's see what are the costs of this trip. Because we used half of our tank, which is quite a lot. And I believe that will probably cost us quite a few euros. Okay, there we go. We can now go into service center. Right, so I'm not sure if I ever highlighted how the service center looks like. So what you can do in here, you can basically manage your current locomotive and any other locomotive that you have in store. So you can obviously fix it. That's not super expensive, thankfully. And you can refuel it. And, well, yeah, the fuel cost is not that bad. So we spent 10 grand in total to pay for fuel and repairs. And in most cases, like, we wouldn't have any repairs to make unless we hit an animal or used emergency brakes, which I've been using that at the start of the stream to showcase how they work. But normally you're probably gonna arrive without any damage, which is good. Game mode. Game mode refers to task of your locomotive. So currently we are in so-called cargo mode, where we can pick up freight. Yeah, so we can pick up like various different goods. However, we can switch our locomotive to passenger and postage mode, and in that case we can attach some passenger or postage wagon to our locomotive. You won't see that in here, but if you exit you will have one car attached, and then you can perform like a passenger services. So that's how the game sorts it out. I obviously prefer to be in cargo mode. As I mentioned before, you can manage your locomotives. So if you got multiple ones, you can switch between them. You can also upgrade them in some way by changing engines, bogies, chassis, and fuel tank. When it comes to buying chassis, it's like a complete mess. For example, I've tried to upgrade a chassis of a different locomotive in my previous playthrough, or like in my test run. But not every chassis is actually compatible with the model of your locomotive. So I'm not sure why they even appear on the list if you want to upgrade your current locomotive, which I assume you do. Same goes to fuel tanks. Obviously, it's hard to get a fuel tank for electric locomotive, because why would you? So I don't know why this category even exists if you are driving electric locomotive. Bogies, yeah, that's kind of appropriate. You can like exchange them and get some benefits out of them. I'm not sure what kind of benefits they give. Just like what kind of benefits you would get from different bogies. You don't get that information when you click on different bogie. You can just buy it, but I never noticed that it actually does anything with your train parameters. The only thing that changed locomotive parameter was engine. So I did upgrade that in different locomotive and it increased max speed. And that's it. But I couldn't notice any other change with any other parameters for any other locomotive. I think fuel tank, yeah, that will probably change a fuel weight. So we will be able to take a little bit more fuel to our locomotive if we decide to upgrade that. But yeah, like a little bit more information when you click on something and get information. What kind of change you will get when you buy this element and apply it to your locomotive, or if that element is even compatible with your locomotive. That would be really nice to like filter it somehow and get any sort of information. Buying locomotives, well, those are pretty much all the locomotives that are available in the game. Sadly, again, you can't just click on them to see how they look like. Unless you buy them, you won't see how they look like, and unfortunately I can't afford any single one of them. We are currently driving Salzgitter 6, which is this one, so you know how it looks like. It's basically a shunter. 6B will probably have a little bit stronger engine, so you can achieve 6B status by just by just upgrading your locomotive, because that's what it is. So when you buy this model for 350,000, you will have some upgrades that are not present in basic version, but you can always upgrade the basic version to the same model that you would buy. I think the upgrades will be a little bit cheaper, but they have higher level requirements. That's the only difference, I think. It's pretty well designed, I'm not gonna lie. It forces you to think about various different solutions. So you can either go that way or that way. But, well, again, since there is no explanation, you have to, like, experiment with it in order to find out what you're gonna get if you invest into that solution over that solution. Well, hopefully that will be updated in the future. And finally, last thing you can do in Service Center is to reverse your train direction. So this way, when we get back to the game, there we go, we've been turned around. Although I'm not sure why anyone would do this with specific models of locomotives. Because when it comes to shunter, apart from changing reverser, it is equipped with proper set of lights. Why don't just switch the bright white lights on the other end and red lights on what used to be a front and just drive it like that? That's why this locomotive has windows and cabin and all the steering on those different sides. So that's a bit weird. So yeah, that's pretty terrible design in that case. It will work with very long locomotives. It will work with steam locomotives, definitely, if they will ever be introduced to the game. I think I've seen that on like a roadmap for the game. So they are planning to introduce steam locomotives to the game, and that's when changing train direction would be useful. But apart from it, I think what they should do is to just allow players to switch front and back lights and like turn your character between cabin A or cabin B, and that's it. And that would solve the problem of changing locomotives direction. Same goes to coupling and decoupling. Like changing direction on, let's say, passenger station, which happens to be your end station. Why not just decouple the wagons, go around it, and couple them from the other end? That is the most realistic way of doing things. You don't just go to like a service center to turn entire train around. Like that's not how it works. And the mechanics are already in the game. You can couple or decouple the wagons. So why not introduce that without dropping a task? Oh well, hopefully those things will get addressed at one point or another. Anyway, we've been driving for 1 hour and 40 minutes. I guess that is pretty good highlight of what the game has to offer. Obviously, apart from this little shunter, you can drive multiple different locomotives and engines. Some of them designed only for passenger traffic, some of them designed for multiple purposes. So there is something to discover in the game. However, once more, the game should never be called simulator. It's a very arcade sandbox game, and that would be more appropriate. Obviously it is in early access, so if you decide to buy it, you have to be ready to encounter some or even many bugs that will be more or less game breaking. So also some patience is highly advised, because, well, depending on the time when you buy it, some things might work or not. And right now, well, it is what it is. The good thing is that if you invest now and the game improves in the future, yeah, then you paid less for it. If you wait and decide to wait for some substantial updates, you might find yourself paying, let's say, $30 for the game if you decide to wait until the game is fully fixed and released. So time will tell if it's a good investment or not. Some people support early access, some people don't. Well, I'm very neutral about it. Some games should never get into early access. Some definitely deserves that, so, well, that's my opinion about early access. About this one, well, it's just been released, so I expected bugs. I got bugs. And hopefully, when I come back to this game in, let's say, 2-3 months time, I will be able to report on some sort of updates and upgrades. Who knows, maybe developers will fix it within next weekend and there will be a nice stream next week, or maybe they won't. Anyway, guys, I guess that is it from me for today. Thanks for sticking out with me. I will be back with another stream probably somewhere tomorrow. I was hoping to play some Train Driver 2 or something else. So if you wait for that, yeah, it is very likely to happen tomorrow, depending on what time I will be ready. But today, it is the end of Train Life, a railway simulator, however you can call it, a simulator. Anyway, that was our first encounter with the game. Hopefully you got enough information to decide on your own whether you want to invest in that project or not. Few final words from me is, well, the game definitely has a potential. There are some mechanics that are very unique for a train game. I wouldn't say train sim game because, again, starting from train handling itself, which is very, very far from any sort of simulator, to traffic rules that are nowhere near any simulator. If that won't improve, that will probably well, set this game far away from any sort of simulation. But it will be a nice arcade game, perhaps with some multiplayer probability in the future if developers will decide to make this world like an open world where multiple people can drive together and do various things on the tracks. Yes, that game would have potential, same as ATS had it for a very long time, and eventually it was brought to this game like 2-3 months ago, which is pretty much like 13 years after it was released or something. So it took a while before that was developed. And this game also has like a bright future, but not as a simulator. Definitely not. Or at least not at this point. We'll see what time will show, and if the good ideas will stay and bad ideas will go out or get fixed and replaced. Definitely manual dispatching needs to improve. That should never happen in train game. Train handling should improve to make it a little bit more complicated. Signaling should improve to make it more realistic. And finally, some sort of shunting operations and various other quality of life improvements needs to be made before this game can be called simulator. Right, that's it from me for today. Thank you very much, everyone. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and well, don't forget to subscribe. There will be more of train content coming soon, and not only train content. I do various other different things. You can check out through my channel what exactly am I doing. Mostly I sit in simulation zone, so yeah, you can find those games on my channel. Also, if you are interested, you may find my Discord a good place to be. You can discuss this and many other games with me and other fans that already joined there. Link is in the description down below the video. Have a great day, and I hope to catch you next time. Bye bye.